Siamese the Light Hypno is such a strong unit, even a force ban unit in some situations. However, ever since he's come out, I've seen a lot of people picking him in the wrong spot, picking him in so many matches that he really doesn't make any sense. We're going to take a look here. I don't believe that this is a match that he really is a great fit for. So we'll take a look at the match. We'll see if he does anything crazy. He has 2 passives. So he's got skill 1. Well, actually, we can go through the skills right here. But it's like, would you use miho in every situation? Like miho, there's some situations where she's fantastic. But if you just first pick a miho, your opponent could just start picking some Onimushas, can play around it, can pick a Ciara, can pick just things that don't crit very much, can pick a Molong. So you can't just pick miho in every situation. You can't just pick Siamese in every situation. Let's go over Siamese skills. Attacks the enemy. I want you to pay attention here and see if you feel Siamese is doing anything crazy, amazing, awesome in this specific match. So Siamese first skill, Bubbly Bubble. It's the same as the other ones. It does a sleep. It's damage according to your max HP. They are HP tanks, but start to sleep for 1 turn with a 30% chance. You will also fall asleep after attacking, which is good because he has some sleep synergy. So it's a 60% chance after it goes up. We have the Foresight Dream, which is his first passive. You can use skills while sleeping, recovers HP of all allies by 20% each when you use a skill while sleeping. Think of it, he only has 1 skill, but think of it like Amon, right? Amon the Light Bear Man. In addition, decreases, not that you need an LD4, a brand new LD4 to be Amon the Light Bear Man, so that's kind of the thing here. One of the things that I'm trying to say. Decreases HP of the enemy that wakes up from sleep due to taking damage or getting a turn by 10%. Then we have his second skill, Eating Dream passive. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about his second skill in this next match. Here's a much better place to pick Siamese the Light, I want to say Hufflepuff Hypno Meow, Light Hypno Meow. So let's go over the second passive. It's not the second skill, it's the second passive, third skill. Eating Dream passive, removes sleep from all allies except yourself if you get a turn while sleeping. In addition, recovers HP of the allies with sleep removed by 30% each. So we know Hathor is not going to get banned out. We know Hathor is getting right through the pick ban phase because it doesn't matter. He is such a strong counter to Hathor. He basically, in this comp, if you're planning to use the Hathor, you can't let the Light Hypno Meow through. I don't think we're even going to see at this point. Hathor's not going to be able to get anything through because they have immunity. And they didn't really have the strips to go along with it. So, at this point, we didn't even see. We're going to see. Don't worry. That's the whole point of this video. We're going to see. But this was my point is, this was a much better situation to pick the Light Hypno Meow Siamese against something that has AoE sleep. So this is specifically where I am worried about Siamese, the Light Hufflepuff. He's a Hypno Meow. I love to use Kitian Dasha. Everyone knows this already. I love to use the Light Monkey. And he is such a strong counter to the... Not if he's not speed-tuned. Not if he's not speed-tuned. He is a strong counter to the Light Monkey, in theory, but he's a little slow over here. He's moving after his attack gauge was lower than everything else on the team, so he isn't really going to cleanse everything. They're going to take their sleeps off naturally, so he does need to be faster than this player actually has him to be super effective, because he could, if he moved before the Vertiheal and the Cadiz, then he could have just cleansed those off and then they would have gotten turns. So this is going to be a very different situation since they have him a little bit too slow. So they do need to speed him up. And he doesn't really do it with this stun right here. He doesn't really do anything against the stuns. It's only with the sleep. So one of the things with Siamese, is if you can slow him, if he's naturally slow by their runes, and you can slow him down and you can keep decreasing his attack gauge, then he's not going to be as much of an issue. But if he continues to if he's fast and he's tanky and he resists things, then he's going to resist the speed break and resist the attack gauge reduction. If you put attack gauge or trying to attack gauge reduce him, then he's going to be very annoying. Also, you want to make, as we see here actually, you want to make him faster than the other units. This way it cleanses the things before they naturally get turns, cleanses the sleep. Next match, kind of weird. Opponent's picking a whole lot of fast, aggressive, single target damage. Brings out the Siamese. So we know that they're not going to ban out the Gina because that's the only unit that they have streeps. That's the only unit that streeps, guys. That's the only unit that sleeps the enemies. So that's not getting banned if they're clearly picking the Siamese. And we know that the Han's not getting banned because Tian Lang is in there. So of course they're like, I'm just going to leave I'm going to leave all that in. Because Tian Lang is really only countering the Han for the most part. So we know that those 2 units are still gonna get left through, but and then he just dies, right? So it's really, they didn't have enough sleep on that team. It wasn't really a control team. It was a single target cleave, and they brought Siamese into the single target cleave, which I don't think was the best situation for the Siamese to actually be brought into. I think when it's a mostly control team and it's got a fast Siamese, he's going to be very dangerous, right? When it's a sleep control team, not a stun control team. It has to be a sleep control team. It has to be Hathor. It has to be a Kitian Dasheng. It has to be Succubus. It has to be those units. A control team against those units. And people are just picking him a little bit too much. I mean, of course they're picking him too much. He just came out. They want to see what he's good for. It's not like they're like, oh, I know this is the specific best place to pick him. They're like, let me see how he works in this situation. So I can't really fault the people for like throwing him in a little bit extra. I do that too. I do that when monsters come out. I'm like, let me see if I could throw this in and it works. Oh no, it didn't. I lost miserably. Oh, okay. Well, that's that. But for very sleep control heavy, Kitian Dasheng, Succubus, and also Praha could be okay against Praha because Praha's got the sleep, the AoE sleep as well. So Kitian Dasheng, Hathor, Succubus, Praha, AoE sleeps. That's where you want to bring him into. And he's going to be a late pick in the draft. So here I think they picked him a little bit too early. They saw that they were going for, they got the Chiwu, they got the Ashir, they got the Gani. They're like, cool, they're going to pick Hathor next. Doesn't pick Hathor. They have the Siamese on the field, but they don't pick Hathor. So at this point, what? Hold on. I was going to say, at this point, they're kind of at a disadvantage. And then I look at the field again, and I'm like, they have 3 OP LD5s. I don't know if I would say they're at a disadvantage. I think that might be a silly statement on my end. So gets enough damage to kill the. Actually, that was a kind of squishy Gianna, wasn't it? Was that? Actually, I gotta do the math in my head to try to figure out if that was actually a squishy Gianna or not. That seemed a little bit. She died pretty fast. That seemed like a squishy Gianna. All those LDs, man. All those LDs. But you could tell that the person on the person nearest us is like they were prepared for them countering the sleep, and they were like, you know what? I'm gonna bring Miles. I'm gonna bring Sekhmet. I've experienced this before. They expect me to bring the Hathor. They start countering the Hathor. I'm going to bring totally different things. So anyway, that's it for this one. That is Siamese. I think that a lot of people are bringing him into places, like just trying to fit him in as many places as possible. And they're like, maybe I can see if he works here. Maybe I can see if he works there. And he's currently not doing too well just because he's a last pick situation that is a counter. And also he needs to be fast. He needs to be fast. He's a last pick situation. That is a counter to Sleep Team, so hopefully we get to see him a little bit more. If you see Hathor being picked, pick him at the end of the draft. Pick him at the end of the draft. If you see Hathor being picked, if you see Light Monkey being picked, if you see, oh, there's Sleep. I already said this earlier. I said this like a minute ago. If you see the Sleep units being picked, you can pick Siamese at the end of the draft, and it could even be a force ban. Anyway, that's it for this one. See you guys always in the next one.